Hello, Countledon here. A while back there was a post on the Golden Age subreddit about all of the possible farms that could be built in beta 1.7.3, and Deadly Dirtblock provided a comment which highlighted everything that could be automated, and today I will be showing those ways. Or at least some of those ways. This isn't definitive. There are plenty of other types of mob trap designs you could use, for example. And of course, I should preface this by saying I'm currently in release 1.2.5 for convenience purposes, but all of these machines will work in beta. Some of them will not work on this demonstration. Anyway, for starting, these are all of the resources that you can automate in beta. This first group here, these are the completely automatable resources. The second group, however, requires some user input to collect and to obtain. So these resources, you build your machine, you stand at a collection point, and your inventory will just fill. And these require you to do something. And that something depends on the machine, and I will show you that later. So for beginning, I will show you the slime farm, which produces slimes and slime balls. So the idea here is you go and you find a slime chunk, and you go down to y equals 16. So as you stand, y equals 16, you dig your pads out, and slimes will spawn there. The shape of the pads, location of the pads within the chunk, and how you design the water, that's all up to you. And most of these other redstone lines, they're not really relevant for this demonstration. There are other features that aren't really necessary. Of course, you could have pistons that turn the pads off with water in case you have a hostile system nearby and you need to do some balancing with spawns. Anyway, after the slimes spawn, you need to kill them. You can kill them right away and send all that to a collection point, or you can design a couple of other things to cut the slimes down and deliver them for you. So slimes will meander a bit they'll meander for a while on the pad before they jump into the water, but eventually they do. And they can either be sent to holding chambers based on their size, or they can be cut down to size and then sent on their way as tiny slimes all the way up to some kill system that you have. So this slime here is about to be cut down by lava. And of course, trying to do the same for small slimes will destroy them immediately, and you won't get any small slimes. So you have to use lava for the big ones, and then you have to use water to drown these medium ones. And then after that, the tiny ones you can just move as you please. You can also move these using the same method of stairs and water, but it is a significantly larger infrastructure cost to do so, as you see here. So like I said, these little guys, they'll go up to whatever killing mechanism you have in mind. You can drop them, you can drown them. Either way, they die and they produce the slime balls you want. So slime machine makes slimes, and slimes make slime balls. And you can turn it on and off. You have to be in a slime chunk and y equals 16 when you're standing on the pad. If you are above y equals 16, they will not spawn, and you also have to be in a slime chunk. Alright, to move on. This is a very basic mob trap for tall mobs. And the idea is that the mobs spawn on these pads, and because these trapdoors are here, they think it's a full block, and they walk right off and die. They fall down 24 blocks onto these fence posts that have water right above them, and all you have to do is sit here and collect the loot. And the loot that you do not want goes in the lava. And the loot from these, of course, is gunpowder, feathers, bones, and arrows. And all you do is you select the loot you want, you fill your inventory with it to filter out all other forms of loot, and you just collect. In terms of infrastructure costs, this one's particularly cheap. There are other mob traps with more sophisticated designs. You still need to light up all the caves and the surface for maximum efficiency. but this is a pretty good trap. Next to it is the spider version. The spider version produces spiders and string. But the spiders take far longer to walk off, so the trap is far slower. And I wouldn't recommend it in comparison to its spawner-based counterpart. So all it does is produce spiders and strings, and they die, and their string goes through here, just like the other trap there. And like I said, there are many, many other trap designs. These are just the most efficient brain-dead versions that you can get. They're simple, and they work. To keep from tall mobs spawning, all you do is you place a glass block here, so that the space has a transparent block, air block, and a solid surface. Putting a solid block here will prevent spiders from spawning, so it has to be glass. Alright, moving on. The passive system. So the idea is animals will spawn, and eventually walk into the water. So if I spawn a few here, I mean, they won't spawn naturally in release, but they will spawn in beta 1.7.3. You have to keep in mind that these animals here, they require a large infrastructure cost, these spawners. You have to get rid of all passive spawning spaces in a very large radius. And it's best to set these up near a desert and an ocean, because that reduces passive spawning as much as possible. Anyway, since animals are just as valuable alive as they are dead, I've included a sorting system here and some holding pens. So if I go ahead and put these back, you'll see what's possible with a sorting system. You can separate cows and sheep, pigs, wolves, and chickens from each other. And of course, you'd get leather and milk, wool, pork chops, and if you drop them through a very thin blade of lava and let them run around and die while they're on fire, cooked pork chops, wolves that you can tame, and finally chickens, which you can get feathers and eggs from. Since animals are pretty valuable alive, I figured it's really worth it to sort and kill them. Or at least have a option to put them in a holding pen and then automatically kill them if you do not want them. And of course the sorter isn't perfect, as you see. There are other sorter designs that will work far better than this one, but this one was just built for the sake of demonstration. So, moving on, you have a zombie pigman mob trap. For these, you have to slab over the entirety of the nether, or at least as much of it as you can save, to prevent spawning of any kind, because nether spawning occurs on any full block. And of course, the idea for this trap is for zombie pigmen to just walk and keep walking and keep walking until they're pushed by a piston all the way down to a pit where they die. Item delivery isn't really too possible in the nether. You can use pistons to move items. You can't use lava to do so, so I really wouldn't consider this trap worth building, because all you really get from it is cooked pork chops. Of course, this is release 1.2.5, so instead they drop gold nuggets and rotten flesh, but in beta, they just drop cooked pork chops, and it's far better to just build a passive system with a pig cooker. Alright, so before the night ends, I'm going to go ahead and sleep, reset the area in terms of spawns, and continue on. So this is a typical squid farm. All it is some water above a couple of fence posts, and in beta, squid will only swim down. So what they'll do is they'll swim down until they drop out of the water, and then they drop their ink sacs. And all you do is you have to stand here. You have to move around a little bit sometimes to get all of them, but that's all they do. It's effective, it's cheap, it works. I think squid are fairly resistant to water currents, so trying to get them to be moved to a location might be tricky. I could be wrong though, but from what I've seen, it's better just to have them drop to their death immediately. So these 3 farm designs are all from Monster, and I will have the video titles next to the channel name. But this is a zombie farm based off of... That's strange. Oh, that maybe a skeleton spawned in there. But this is a zombie variant of Monster's Skeleton Farm, and as you can hear, you stand here, the spawner activates, and the spawns or the drops just come to you. The benefit of these traps, of course, is that they're small, and you can have a very specific mob, and they're cheap. The trade-off, of course, is that your AFK spot is very specific. You have to be in a specific place for these to work effectively. You have to be within a specific range of that spawner, so you can't really just walk around, do things, and then pick up the items later. Alright, so this is the skeleton spawner. And the video, the title, the channel name is Monster, and the video title name is AFK Skeleton Farm Tutorial for Minecraft Beta 1.7.3. And it will give you a step-by-step guide on how to build this, but it's just a skeleton spawner, and it produces items, like any other skeleton spawner. Finally, this is Monster's Spider Spawner Farm, so Monster, AFK, Spider Farm Tutorial for Old Minecraft, ! And that is the channel name and the video name for the tutorial on how to build this trap, but the AFK position is here. Spiders will drop down, they will drown in water, and then they will drop their string. And once again, it has the same benefits as these two do. It's cheaper to build, and this trap is far faster than the spider trap that was shown over there. This will produce a lot more string far more quickly for you. So as you see, the spiders spawn, they come down, they climb up, and they're too dumb to realize that they're drowning, and they just drown. It does take a while for them to start drowning, however, but once they do, you know, it gets going. See, the spider production rate is very quick. There we go. Anyway, moving on. So that's the end of the hostile mob farms, but not necessarily the end of hostile mob related systems, because there's another item that needs to be farmed. And that would be the record. So this is a mob sorter. It's manual. You have to stand inside of it and use the mob's AI against them to get them to go places. It does not work in release 1.2.5 because zombies were changed, and then skeletons were also changed. So their AIs don't really operate such that they work with this trap. Creepers do still try to strafe left, so they will go in the hole, but zombies no longer walk straight towards you, so instead of just dropping straight down, zombies will strafe left and go there. And skeletons, it seems that skeletons will just stand here and try and shoot you instead of strafing left. I could be wrong, but that's what I've experienced so far. And if you want to build this farm, there is a map download provided by SOM1LSE in his Minecraft video, Minecraft space tac space ethos mob sorter working parentheses with a few minor changes. And of course, I've extended it and added on the record farm. Now the idea for this, of course, is that I have to make him angry at me. Is he still angry at me? Good, he's still angry at me. Excellent. And I will also make the creeper angry at me to highlight, well, right, okay, hold on. Let me see here. I have to put him over here. Alright, So for this, do not stand any closer than this block, otherwise the creeper will explode. And now we wait. So this is a great setup for records. All that happens is you collect the records, and the creeper just gets shot to death by skeletons. And the skeleton will have a very hard time hitting you. Of course, you have to sort these mobs yourself using this sorter. There are other machines that can help sort, but they are large and complicated. And the basic layout for this is for the skeleton to have 1.5 blocks of gap between itself and the creeper. And it stand here, it's stuck here, it can't jump or anything. And the same goes for, well, the creeper can jump, but that's far less of an issue. I think I might have to change that. Hold on a second. Boop, there we go. So the creeper can't jump either. Excellent. So that's what it takes to farm records in beta, is this automated thing, and a little bit of an extension here. So, moving on, is a cactus farm. Cactus farms are really, really simple. You don't need all this stuff. All you need is a single cactus, a block next to it, and a water collection system to bring that cactus to a central point. I've just gone ahead and added an off switch to it. And all you have to do is just lower pistons above it. And that's how you automate cactus. You just make a single cactus with a block next to it, and it spits off. In terms of fully automated farms, there's only a couple more. So these farms utilize a bud switch. Sounds like there's a zombie in there. Oh well. So a bud switch is really simple to make. I should showcase that actually. Don't mind me. So in order to make a bud switch in beta, all you have to do is have a way for a piston to power itself from a unique location, like here. And that's all that happens. Every time a block update occurs, the piston actuates. And that is a bud switch. Really basic, really easy to build, and that is the machine, or the heart of these machines. So this is the mushroom machine. A mushroom will grow next to the bud switch, which is right here, I believe, somewhere buried in here. And the pistons below will open up. Let me go ahead and let a little bit of light in, a little bit further away. And that's all it does. That's all it does. You can have the mushrooms located only over there, so by the time they've crawled all the way over here, it's full. Or you can just have as many mushrooms cramped in here as possible for as high a rate of spawn as possible. And of course, these machines, they don't have to be for both mushrooms. You can build one just for red and another one just for brown. I've just put both in here to showcase it. And of course, all you have to do is stand here and collect. Same goes for the sugarcane farm. All you have to do is stand here and collect. As a matter of fact, it looks like it's ready to be harvested right now. There it goes. And the reeds go to you. Of course, it's not perfect with harvesting. There are a couple of losses, but for the most part, you get everything. Alright, moving on. So this is the flower farm. And let me see if I might be able to... Oh well, I won't worry about it. Alright, so I need bone meal. And There we go. So this farm is simple. Up here is grass. Next to the grass is water and glowstone. If grass is in complete darkness, you can grow tall grass, and the tall grass will pop out, and the same goes for flowers. And that's all you do. And then you turn the lights back on first, and you activate the water, because if the water flows over the grass while it's dark, it will kill the grass and turn it into dirt, and then the machine breaks. But as you can see, I spent a couple of seconds bone mealing this, and for those efforts, I got quite a bit of flower, roses, and seeds. And this is a machine built by 777 Static 777 with the video name Minecraft Beta 1.7 Tutorial, seed and flower mass production farm with pistons, parentheses, P-Smurf Tac, P-Tac Smurf, parentheses, all caps there. This is exactly how it's spelled. The capitalization is the same too. And the channel name is, of course, 777 Static 777, lowercase with the name there. And that is a machine that he showed. I don't remember if he provided a tutorial on how to build it, but the basic concept is there and it's easy enough to understand. Alright, so this is an ice farm. It, once again, like those machines back there, utilizes a bud switch. And all it does is sit in a cold biome, and when this water freezes, it just pushes the ice out. You can't collect the ice, but you can piston it off to some location. You can have like an auto-refilling ice wall if you wanted, or an ice rink. Doesn't really matter. This is something that can be automated. Quick note for this machine, make sure the bud is delayed. So this is all part of the piston bud switch. This is the circuit that turns this wire on to effectively bud the piston. It's got to be delayed for this machine specifically because the water provides extra updates that will lock the machine. So ensure that you have added delays. Alright, moving on. This is the Seeds and Wheat Machine by Pearl Squirrel with a video name of Full Tac Auto Wheat Farm. There was a version of it showcased by Box Blair, I believe, but I might have messed up the tutorial, but that version I had trouble with. So anyway, in order to simulate this working, I'm going to have to throw the items away as I receive them. So what you do is you start out with a single seed in your inventory. You plant it, you bone meal it, plant, bone meal, plant, bone meal. Now, in survival, your first inventory slot will alternate between bone meal and seeds. So all you need to do is stand here and left click this block right here. Oh, I'm sorry, right click this block here. And you will automatically plant seeds and then bone meal the wheat. And these machines can produce 75 bone meal or 75 wheat, I believe, a minute, or 60 wheat a minute, depending on the design, depending on the version of the machine that you've gone with. So that is how you automate wheat and seeds. Alright, next is a basic tree farm with a TNT magazine stack. And the machine here utilizes a very important feature that was discovered on the Golden Age subreddit, or showcased on the Golden Age subreddit. So if you have your TNT going off with one repeater here, and you have a piston array set up with 1, 2, 3, so 9 repeaters, all set to full, and then this last repeater, actually I should double check that, hold on. Okay, yeah, 9 full repeaters and 1 repeater set to 3. The pistons will push the wood just in time for the TNT to explode and you will collect a lot of wood. All you have to do for this machine is stand here and bone meal these trees. Of course, you could have the system or machine push the wood up such that the collection point would also be here, but I didn't do that. Instead, it's down here. So you'd have to push the wood up like 10 blocks or so. So all you do is you bone meal trees as fast as you can, and you plant the next sapling. And you keep doing that until this chamber fills up. And of course, to showcase the explosion, I will provide a couple of layers of wood to show you what happens. And a typical harvest on this machine is about 2.5 to 3 stacks of wood, though this will be smaller because I'm just manually filling in the wood blocks here. Alright, that should be good enough. So, to operate the blasting system, TNT magazine is filled. Perfect. And you can also use this as a leaf farm. So you hear the TNT, and the explosion. And looks like a couple of things were damaged, but that should be okay. Anyway, all the wood goes into the collection point. Well, most of it goes into the collection point. And from there, you have a couple of things that you need to do before you set this thing off again. First, you have to make sure your TNT magazine is filled. Okay, so it's currently 1 down, 9 TNT left. Secondly, you have to face up this wall. You have to make it nice and flat. Otherwise, this wood will be pushed unevenly against here, and this whole part of the machine will it'll become filled up with wood, and it'll just fail to push. I'm sure there are better models that can handle that, but this is a basic machine to showcase a basic concept. Moving on is a machine that can handle the other types of wood. So this is, the channel name is Gothic Farms Gaming, and the video name is Semi-Automatic Tree Farm, and it comes with a download for this. I've chipped away a lot of the stone that was in the original download to showcase all the wiring. And this machine, though he does state that this handles birch trees only, I haven't had an issue with growing spruce trees here. So you grow the tree, you can wait for it to grow, you can bone meal it, doesn't matter. And what it'll do is it'll start pushing sand down to harvest the wood. I can't let this get too long. And then it'll automatically reset itself. So this is the sand on its way back into the magazine here. And the magazine is full and the machine is ready to go again. And you can also use this as a leaf farm, or a sapling farm really, if you wanted to. And to showcase it, if I can, it will now harvest a birch tree. And from here, you can use pistons to push all of this wood into a mechanism that will harvest it for you like this. So you can have pistons push it up and out into a TNT column, and it'll start harvesting for you. Alright, on to the next machine. And let me put these back actually. So the next machine is the cobble farm. It's the same basic principle as these machines here. Instead of using a sapling, however, you're just using lava and water to generate cobble. and then you're pushing it out. And you can once again just push it into a blast chamber and harvest lots of cobble. Unlike those farms, you can run this one automatically until the TNT magazine runs out. So if I get rid of some of this here. And there are better designs that better organize the cobblestone, but this is just to showcase what can be done. So if I go here, start the clock. And it keeps going, and it will keep going. So, just like the other machines, you just connect the TNT blast chamber to it, and you make sure the timing is appropriate, and you harvest the cobble. Alright, on to the next machine, the famous sand or gravel duper. All it is a piston with a lever and either a gravel or sand block below it. And you just do that. Now it doesn't work here because this is release 1.2.5, but in beta, what happens is more sand and gravel blocks would just drop out from below them as items, and they would flow into this water. And you would get ridiculous amounts of sand and gravel. This next machine, it's not really much of a machine. I mean, I guess you're the machine doing anything inside of it, but it's a water channel. And you put this in a snowy biome, and you wait for it to snow, and you take your shovel here, and you just dig. And the water channels will guide you automatically. All you do is dig. And that's how you get snow. Or at least that's how you automate it. Okay. It appears to have gotten dark again, so I'm going to go ahead and sleep. And the next few machines, they're a little bit more user intensive and a little bit strange. So this is an obsidian generator, or a transmutation machine, I should say. And the idea for this is, you turn the lava on, you turn the lava off, you mine the obsidian, you put the redstone back. There are likely better ways to do this, such that you make a giant tower of obsidian and then you just mine downwards, but this is once again to just, showcase a basic concept. And that's really all this machine is. It's just a transmutation machine, and it's just a water source and a lava source. Okay, so this is one of the newer machines to beta Minecraft, and that is Monster's Apple Machine. So channel name Monster, and the video name Human Tax Sacrifice Powered Apple Farm / not a colon, Proof of Concept. One important thing about this machine is that this location here, directly where the pressure plate is, must be spawn. Also, I think it's got to be, it should be a stone pressure plate, not a wooden one. And the idea is you walk in this machine, and it automatically kills you, and then you spawn here, and then you fall down, and it automatically kills you. The most important part is that you have to be logged in as Notch. So if you go into offline mode, or you have the old launcher, or you have multi-MC, log in with an account name N, capital N-O-T-C-H. Your skin should change to notches to verify that you are now logged in properly. And then you just keep killing yourself until you have an inventory full of red apples. On to the next farm. It's not really much of a machine at all, but it doesn't really have any machine associated with it. I'm not sure what was intended by saying this is AFKable, but it's just a fishing pool. That's really it. All you do is fish. And there's a wall here so that if any fish flies above you, it'll fall into the wall and hopefully fall into your inventory. But it's just a fishing pond. But I guess this is a decent way to farm fish. Alright, the last machine is a transmutation machine, typically associated with crash slabs, or turning wool from one color to another. Unfortunately, it doesn't work in this version, but for crash slabs, you'd put 2 regular slabs there, you'd put the torch there, and this would be turned into a crash slab. Unfortunately, that doesn't work in this version. It will work in beta. It's very simple to build. All it is a piston with a redstone wire and a torch that you place here, and the block that you want to change goes there. And this machine was showcased on the Golden Age Minecraft subreddit by user GameGuardJuice69. There's no space in that name whatsoever. And that's it. That's it for all the resources that can be automated in beta. There are plenty of different ways to do it for each one. The machines that I have included here are not the end-all be-all of ways to automate those resources. And if you have anything you'd like to add, if there's anything that may have been missed, you can comment below. And thank you. Goodbye.